So now we're working on page 9 of our credit, and this is the reading comprehension. So this is the part where you're going to answer the questions based on the reading. So en esta parte tú vas a contestar las preguntas en inglés sobre la lectura que leíste. So es importante cuando estás haciéndolo que te regreses a la lectura y busques las respuestas. O piensa bien en la lectura y cuál respuesta va a ser mejor. So, looking at the first question, what is the purpose? What is the purpose of the first text? So what we read, what is the purpose? So if we're looking, we can see that they're talking about current traditions. They talk about the origin, where it started. They're talking about ancient traditions. And they end with current traditions. So one important thing when you're looking at purpose is go back and read how they ended it. Okay, so they talk about how overall the ancient traditions are still practiced today, even though they've evolved and are even carried out differently. So this is the repetition of their thesis. So remember, the thesis is the reason or the point the author is trying to tell you. It's their why. So we're going to write here, repeated their thesis. Okay? And I'm going to write this, thesis equals reason. And you're going to need this because you're going to read the next one on your own. I'll read it with you, but I'm not going to answer those questions for you. So remember these notes, okay? So, lo voy a repetir en español. Cuando estás contestando esta pregunta, está preguntando qué es el primer razón que escribieron la lectura. So, normalmente tú puedes ver el thesis, que es la razón de escribirlo, o el argumento que están tratando contestar. Right? So, aquí están repitiendo su thesis. Remember, thesis es la razón de escribirlo. So, dice, en general, algunas de las tradiciones antiguas todavía se practican hoy en el día, a que han evolucionado en el incluso se llevan a cabo de manera diferente. So, esto es su razón. Y si vamos aquí, we're going to look at the answers. Vamos a mirar las respuestas. So, what is the main purpose of the text? It tells us about Hallow Eve. It explains the origin of Halloween. It tells the origin of the jack-o'-lantern, or it tells the origin of costumes. So in the end, it's talking about tradition, so it's to explain the origin of Halloween. And don't use white, because then I won't see it. So it's going to be B. Now, notice here it has part 1, part A, and part B. That means this question asking which of these 4 sentences supports our answer here. So está preguntando cuáles de esas 4 oraciones está soportando nuestra respuesta en la primera pregunta. So la primera pregunta es razón, y la segunda pregunta está preguntando qué oración tiene que ver de esto. Right? So let's take a look at them. So it says, which detail best supports the main purpose of text 1? The holiday is believed to have originated because of the Celtic festival. Well, it does talk about that, but that doesn't have anything to do with talking about the origin, right? And it says, throughout the years, Halloween has evolved and become more modernized. So so this is going to be a question, maybe it's this one. The next one's the Celtics created lanterns by hollow gourds and placing candles inside. That's not one of, it talks about that, but that's not the main idea. And that doesn't talk right here about the origins of Halloween. Many people celebrate by having costume parties and dressing up as their favorite television or book characters. That's a tradition, but it doesn't connect back to this one. And I messed up here. So let's take a look at it. Throughout the years, Halloween has evolved and become more modernized. That's great, but that doesn't come back up here to talk about the origins. So it's actually going to be A, because it tells us where it started, and it started with the Celtic festival, so on. Okay, so we have both of those completed. Let's look at question 3. Which sentence best describes the Celtic reason for dressing up in animal hides? Is it because they dressed up in order to celebrate Hallowed Evening? They wanted the priests to be able to make prophecies for upcoming season? They believe ghosts have negative effects on their crops? Or they wore them to make animal sacrifices? So let's come back up here and read. Halloween did not celebrate religious undertones. Coming back up here. Okay, here is the answer to number 3. The reason for dressing up may have varied, but the primary reason was the Celtics believed that these ghosts had negative effects on their crops. So by coming back and reading, we now have the answer for 3. I'm not going to circle it, but you now have the answer. So if we come up here, question number 3, there's your answer. Go ahead and highlight that. Next, it says, which word closest in meaning to the word intricate in paragraph 4 of text 1? So we're going to come up here, and the paragraphs have little numbers here, right? So I'm going to look for the word intricate. They would create intricate designs by cutting out portions of the gourd and cleaning it out. So intricate means detailed. So we're going to highlight that one. So they created these detailed designs in the gourds, and which we do now for pumpkins. Now question number 5. How does paragraph 6 most contribute to text 1 as a whole? It explains that people wear costumes for parties. It helps the readers to understand traditions. It provides details about Halloween, or it shows how traditions have changed since Halloween's beginning. So let's come back to 6. Today, many people have celebrated costumes. So it's talking about current traditions. We already have our note right there, right? So let's come back here. It explains that people wear costumes for parties. It helps the reader to understand traditions. It provides detail about Halloween. And it shows how traditions have changed since the beginning. Let's go with that one. That's going to be the best one. Okay? How does it most contribute to the whole? So this is the best answer for that. If you have any questions or need any help, please come see me.